Welcome back, dear hearts, to Swoon Stories, where destiny writes the most impossible love stories. Tonight, we unfold a tale where fate plays tricks and love blooms in the ruins of pride. She went on a blind date expecting disaster and found a man she'd cursed online, now revealed to be a billionaire with a heart of gold. Before we dive in, tell me, have you ever judged someone too quickly? May this story stir your soul, remind you that love often hides behind masks, and that the heart sees what the eyes do not. Now let the magic begin. Rain pattered against the cafe windows as Ella Monroe stared at the empty chair across from her. Her arms were folded, her auburn curls damp from the downpour she hadn't expected. She tapped her phone. No messages, no updates. Blind dates. R for the desperate, she muttered, just as the door opened. And in walked him. Tall, broad-shouldered, charcoal coat, hair slicked back but not in a try-hard way, eyes like a midnight storm, and familiar. Too familiar. He scanned the cafe with practiced ease and zero warmth until his eyes found hers. He didn't smile, just walked over and sat down. "You're Ella?" he asked, voice like gravel and silk. She narrowed her eyes. "Depends. You're Damian?" He nodded. Damian Cross. Ella choked on her cappuccino. The name that haunted her notifications for months. The cold, arrogant billionaire CEO she'd blasted in a viral blog post. The man she'd called the epitome of capitalist decay. What cosmic joke was this? "Excuse me," she snapped, rising. "This must be a mistake. I need to—" "You're not leaving," he said calmly, placing a gloved hand on the table. "Your sister set this up, and you owe her." She froze. Damn, that was true. Ella's younger sister, Meg, had pulled every string to get Ella out of her shell. After the failed startup, after the smear campaign that ruined her career, Meg had begged her to move on. Try love. Try life. And this was her penance. She sat back down, stiffly. "I didn't know it was you," she hissed. "Had I known, I would have rather thrown wine in my face," he offered dryly. "You already did that." Ella's heart thudded, so loudly she was sure Damian heard it. "I'm in a blind date with a man I publicly humiliated." She forced a smile. "Your sister is very persuasive." He traced a coffee ring on the table. "Meg said you needed a fresh start, and I needed a fun story." Ella's brow arched. "A story?" He leaned forward. The scent of cedarwood and fresh rain drifted from his coat. "A bet. My best friend bet me I couldn't get a date with the notorious blogstorm Ella." Ella swallowed. His voice was low, controlled, yet there was a flicker of amusement in his stormy eyes. "He thinks I'm a dare." "Congratulations," she said, voice icy. "I'm clearly not a trophy." Damian's lips quirked. "No, you're the prize." Ella's chest tightened. The waiter arrived with 2 steaming lattes. Ella inhaled the sweet aroma of vanilla and hot milk. Rain drummed harder on the roof, a soundtrack to her rising panic. She stood abruptly. "I need air." He didn't stop. Her. Outside, the alley smelled of wet asphalt and blossoms from a nearby planter. She pressed her back to the brick wall, trembling. "Why are you really here?" she demanded. He stepped close, so close she could count the flecks of amber in his eyes. "Because I want to know the real Ella Monroe, not the one who hides behind a keyboard." She looked away. "That's the real wound, not the blog post." He followed her gaze to the dark street. "Let me prove it to you." Before she could protest, he took her hand and led her back inside. At the table, he slid a glossy invitation across the wood. The embossed gold letters read, "Cross and Monroe Engagement Gala, tomorrow evening." Ella's breath caught. "I thought you might need an incentive," he said. "A night at my side. A chance to show me who you are." Her pulse thundered. "Engagement gala?" He met her gaze. "Meg mentioned you loved grand gestures. Consider this a temporary contract." A hush fell. The cafe lights flickered, Ella's vision blurred with a whirlwind of thoughts. A billionaire's gala? A faux engagement? Thousands of eyes on her? She looked at Damian. His expression was unreadable. Beneath the power, she sensed vulnerability, hidden kindness, she reminded herself. He funds orphanages anonymously. She closed her fingers over the invitation. The paper was cool, heavy, with promise and peril. Boldly, she stood. Voice steady, she declared, "Fine, I'll go." Damian's lips curved into a genuine smile, brief but dazzling. Their hands brushed. Electricity crackled. The cafe door swung open, and a shrill gasp cut through the air. Meg stood framed by the rain-soaked street lamp, eyes wide as she bellowed, "Ella, you can't back out. Damian's family is here." Ella felt Damian's grip tighten. He whispered, "Ready for your entrance?" Her heart pounded. She swallowed hard. This is it. The moment the world sees me as a billionaire's fiancé. She inhaled, savoring the scent of rain, coffee, and Damian's cologne, and stepped into the night. The morning sun filtered through the crystal chandeliers of the Cross family estate, scattering prisms of light across the marble foyer. Ella's heels clicked on the polished floor as Damian guided her through the guest registration desk. "I can't believe I'm actually here," she thought, stomach twisting at every whispered gasp and sideways glance. Damian's family beamed, patrons of high society trading curtainods. Yet the moment his gaze met hers, he offered a quiet reassurance, a gentle squeeze of her hand. Later, in the private garden behind the estate, Ella slipped away from the glittering crowd. She found herself drawn to a secluded pavilion, where the scent of jasmine mingled with the crisp morning breeze. There, by a stone bench, stood an elderly woman, one of the estate's longtime staff, tears in her eyes as she clutched a torn photograph. Ella approached softly. "Are you all right?" The woman looked up, startled. "Mr. Cross. He invited me here. He's been helping me pay my grandson's school fees, but he wouldn't tell me why." Ella's chest constricted. "Damian." She knelt, placing a comforting hand on the woman's trembling fingers. "He's a good man." The woman's lips quivered. "He's an angel in disguise." Ella's eyes stung. Beneath the billionaire's armor lay a heart capable of empathy, and without a boast or headline, "He let no one know. Why did I ever doubt him?" she mused, brushing away a stray curl. That evening, as lanterns glowed like fireflies around the reflecting pool, Ella found Damian speaking in hushed tones with Veronica Stark, his ruthless rival and ex-fiancé, dressed in obsidian silk. Everything about her screams trouble. Veronica's voice, low and cutting. "So, you've convinced the little blogger to play fiancé. Charming." Damian's jaw clenched. "She's more than you'll ever know." Veronica's eyes flicked to Ella, who stood half hidden behind a column. "Just remember," she purred, "everyone has a secret, and secrets make the best leverage." Ella felt a chill. Leverage? Against me? Against him? Before she could retreat, Veronica swept forward, her smile razor-sharp. "Ms. Monroe, such a pleasure. Damian's told me so much, though I suspect he's kept the juiciest stories to himself." Ella's cheeks burned. What could she mean? Veronica's lips curved dangerously. "Enjoy the gala, while you can. Some truths are better left buried." With that, she glided away, leaving a whisper of expensive perfume and menace. Later, Damian led Ella into the library, its shelves towering like silent sentinels. He retrieved a small leather-bound journal from his inner coat pocket. "I want you to have this," he said, pressing it into her hands. Ella opened it. Inside were photos of Damian volunteering at orphanages, letters he'd written to children he sponsored, never signing his name, just a friend. Tears blurred her vision. He did all this for them. Damian's voice softened. "You said you wanted to know the real me. Here it is." She closed the journal, stepping into him. "I'm sorry I judged you so harshly." He cupped her face. "We both have past wounds, but I believe in second chances." He brushed a thumb across her cheek. The leather-bound pages slipped from her grip, fluttering like a wounded bird. Suddenly, the wine steward approached with an ornate tray. A single envelope lay atop a crystal glass. Ella picked it up. The seal bore the insignia of Cross Industries. Inside, a photograph, Ella's blog post image, edited to appear as if she colluded with a corporate spy. Below it, a typed note. "Trust is earned, not bought. V.S." Her breath hitched. Damian's brow darkened. He recognized the handwriting. Veronica's betrayal, clear as day. Ella's lip trembled. Is everything a lie? Below the library's hush, a clock chimed midnight. Rain sluiced the mansion grounds as Ella and Damian stormed toward the grand archway. Lightning fractured the sky, illuminating Veronica's silhouette at the balcony. "This ends tonight," Ella vowed, boots sinking into the sodden grass. Veronica's laugh echoed like shattered glass. She raised a finger, and the security shutters slammed down inside the estate. Alarms blared. Screams rippled through the halls. Damian cursed, yanking Ella behind a marble column. Bullets? Ella's pulse hammered. A hail of gunfire cracked the night. Sharp reports shattered chandeliers and sprayed splinters. Ella pressed against Damian's chest. "Stay with me." He returned her gaze, eyes fierce with fear and protectiveness. "Run," he shouted, pulling her toward the service tunnel. In the tunnels, the air smelled of damp stone and fear. Water dripped from the ceiling. My heart is pounding like war drums, Ella thought, breath ragged. They rounded a corner, only to find a collapsed beam blocking their path. Behind them, the hiss of a lighter. Veronica's voice slithered through the darkness. "You'll burn together, lovebirds." Flames licked the far wall, spreading fast. Damian pushed Ella back. "Go! I'll hold the fire." "No!" Ella lunged, forward, grabbing his arm. "We face this together." He shook his head. "You can't. I choose this." Ella slid a glinting crowbar from her boot and wedged it beneath the beam. "I won't leave him," she thought, sweat beading on her brow. With a heave, the beam shifted, but the wall behind them groaned. A second collapse threatened their escape. Damian wrapped his arms around her. "Ella." Her lips quivered as the flames crackled closer. "For love." She pushed him toward a narrow side passage. "Go. I'll find another way." His eyes brimmed. "No. We leave together." Ella met his gaze. "This is my choice." She slammed the crowbar against a weakened pillar, toppling it into the flames. A roar swallowed the corridor, and the smoke rushed in. The fire surged, heat like a living thing. Ella felt her vision blur as smoke stung her lungs. Damian grabbed her hand. "Ella," she coughed, collapsing onto the cold stone. "I can't breathe." He dragged her along the wall, each inch a battle, her strength drained away. A silhouette blocked the tunnel entrance, Veronica brandishing a pistol. Click. The barrel clicked, no bullet chambered. Veronica's eyes flared. Why do you always ruin everything, Damian? Damian squared his shoulders. Because love matters more than power, Veronica sneered. Then watch him die. She stepped forward. Damian growled and lunged, but Ella threw herself over him, shielding his body. A single gunshot rang out. Ella's cry pierced the smoke. Damian cried her name, cradling her as she lay limp. Please don't leave me. Her grip loosened. Darkness crept at the edges of her vision. Veronica's triumphant laugh echoed, and then the tunnel fell silent. Ella awoke in a sterile hospital room. Her head throbbed. Tubes and monitors beeped. She tried to move. Her arm was bound. A bandage wrapped around her ribs. Damian. Her throat felt raw. No answer. The door opened. A doctor's gentle face hovered. Ms. Monroe, you suffered smoke inhalation and a fractured shoulder. You're lucky to be alive. Tears burned Ella's eyes. Second chances. She closed them, recalling Damian's anguished face, the crash of the tunnel, and her own sacrifice. A faint knock, and then Damian slipped inside. His suit was dusty, his hair mussed. He carried a single white rose. Silence stretched. He approached the bedside, voice trembling. Ella, you saved me. She tried to nod, but pain stole her breath. I would do it again, she thought. His tears fell onto the rose petals. He leaned in, pressing the flower to her hand. I promised to protect you. I failed. Ella squeezed his fingers. No, you never failed. Veronica's betrayal, the fire, the gunshot, all faded as Damian whispered, I need you. I'm still here. The rain-soaked hospital corridor was hushed as Damian and Ella confronted Veronica in a sterile meeting room. Veronica's composure cracked the moment the door closed. I saw your note, Ella said, voice steady despite the tremor in her heart. She placed Veronica's folded letter on the table. Your sacrifice is only the beginning. He will lose you again. Veronica's eyes flickered. She rose, swaying slightly. You have no idea what I've endured. Damian's gaze was cold steel. You ruined her reputation with falsified evidence. You trapped us in a burning tunnel. Why? Veronica's mask slipped. Her voice cracked. I loved you first, Damian. You chose her. Ella's chest ached, so much pain behind those eyes. Veronica lunged toward a hidden drawer, but Damian was faster. He retrieved a small recorder from his pocket. You admitted everything. He pressed play. Veronica's own words, recorded days earlier, admissions of blackmail, threats, and arson. Her shoulders slumped. Tears streamed. I was lonely, desperate. Ella studied her rival's tear-streaked face. Hatred can hollow out the soul. Damian stepped forward. You manipulated me, tested my loyalty. But love withstands trials. Veronica sank into the chair. The police officers stationed outside the door were now inside, handcuffs gleaming. They took her gently by the arms. Ella swallowed, justice tempered by mercy. That evening, beneath a sky of storm-cleansed stars, Damian led Ella to the estate's grand terrace. Lanterns floated on the reflecting pool, drifting like will-o'-the-wisps. He stopped before her and drew a velvet box from his coat. The ribbon inside was the deep violet of twilight. Ella's breath caught. Damian opened it to reveal a ring carved in swirling filigree, each twist symbolizing a moment they had shared, every trial, every sacrifice. He knelt on one knee. Rain-damp stones gleamed beneath him. Ella Monroe, will you marry me, truly, without contract, without pretense, but with all my heart. Her vision swirled with tears. This is real. She knelt beside him, pressing her forehead to his. Yes. 1,000 times. Yes. He slipped the ring onto her finger. It shimmered like captured moonlight. He stood and swept her into his arms. Her laughter rang out, clear, victorious. Weeks later, Veronica's trial concluded. The courtroom buzzed as the judge delivered a measured sentence. Community service counseling at the orphanages Damian supported and mandated therapy. Veronica's sentence was a chance at redemption rather than ruin. Ella visited her once, bringing flowers and forgiveness. Veronica's voice trembled. Thank you for not hating me. Ella offered a gentle smile. Hate only breeds more hate. I choose compassion. Under a canopy of cherry blossoms in full bloom, Damian and Ella exchanged vows before family and friends. The air smelled of petals and promise. Ella recited softly, Love isn't a bet or a bind. It's a choice. A choice to see beyond scars, to forgive, and to build something beautiful together. Damian clasped her hands. In every trial, we found truth. In every darkness, we found light. May our love be a testament that the heart conquers all. They sealed their vows with a kiss, gentle, enduring, triumphant. Love taught them humility. Faith taught them forgiveness. Hope taught them healing. Thank you for joining us tonight on Swoon Stories. Did this story touch your heart? Share your favorite moment in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more tales of love's magic and moral strength.